Hey, welcome to For the Dads podcast.
Hi.
Michael's usually the one doing this, but he gave it over to us.
Switch it up.
It's called empowerment.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
We both wear a green hoodie, and
Yeah.
I just said,
I mean, we're
Yeah.
jump in.
somewhat matching. So, welcome to the podcast. It's been a minute. We had a holiday. We
Yep.
had hip surgery. We
Yep.
had some wins, some losses.
A new
and
year. It's
a new year.
2025
It's
now.
2025.
Yeah, it's
True.
2025.
Year of the dad.
Kicking it off.
Mhm.
So.
Ooh.
We're excited. We got a
Yep.
big year planned,
Oh,
and we're
so much,
ready to rock.
So much in the works.
We've got a lot brewing.
So much planned
Just
on the calendar.
It's like written down. It's in my journal.
We've got everything planned out.
It's on my vision board. Like, so much planned out for the year.
I've discussed it thoroughly with my wife.
Yeah. Totes.
Yeah. I've discussed it with her, but it just
She's not a fan, so it
didn't
doesn't
resonate.
matter.
Yeah. Didn't register with her. So
I just whispered it while she was in the shower. She
Yeah.
probably didn't hear me,
Yeah.
I guess.
yeah. So
But we're cooking.
yeah, we're brewing stuff up in the back, whipping it up.
True.
Brewing something.
It's something's cooking.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Nick, you want to share?
Nope. Good.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to get in?
So
I want to
yeah,
say
go.
I'm
Go ahead.
grateful to be hanging with the dads again. Had a little fix on the hip. I'm trying to figure out how to best to summarize this. I think I've been telling people that I'm just really like stubborn, and I decided not to listen to my body despite the many signals, and I just continued to run and run and run while trying to diagnose some problems and maybe fix some stuff, but ultimately just like decided that I would be tougher than my body until my body said no.
a
That's
physical
not
guy.
true.
He's a physical dad.
it's a specimen.
Physical
Physical
He
dad.
always has been, and he always will be.
So we're back. We're on the other side of getting the labrum of my hip fixed, and yeah, it's going good. It's going
Heck
good.
yeah.
Things are sealed up, and we're ready to be back on the train and getting the dad bod moving again.
I will say I work in this office space, and it's been different.
Yeah,
You not being
the
here.
vibe dropped a little.
Yeah.
The energy definitely shifted.
Oh,
It definitely
boy.
did.
A little empty.
Yeah, because he has a little window. How do you describe his little like
It's like a
peekaboo?
You ever been through
it's like a
drive-through?
drive-through window.
Literally a drive-through
in
window.
an office.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
And
you
your
need
dog.
something
Yeah.
True.
throughout the day, you just walk yourself up to the window and you order whatever you want.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
Ryan,
take a
just,
number
got you.
three.
Ryan
Ryan.
just takes care of you.
Yeah, he really does. And I've walked by, and the lights have been off, and it's just it's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I should
really
have thought
sad.
ahead and got like one of those. What are those like big cardboard cutouts called?
Oh yeah, like a fat
A
head.
fat head.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
dude.
should
Yeah,
have
there
got a
you
fat
go.
head of myself.
Brother. That would
Just
have
for
been
you
sweet.
guys.
I feel like I don't work here, but the worst part would be not being able to see your dog.
Yeah.
And that doesn't take anything away from
No,
you.
hey, I
Yeah.
get it.
But your
The
dog's
only
great.
the only thing though is his dog hates me, so it's like
Yeah.
not in a
Your
sense
dog,
of like
the dog doesn't hate
He
you.
doesn't hate you.
He just
It's-
doesn't.
He's not a
people.
people
Yeah, he's not a
person.
people person.
Yeah, he's a Ryan person.
That's fine.
He's a Ryan dog. Yeah,
You're just not the dog.
I want to pet him.
Whisper.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, I really don't
Yeah,
have
Shout
that
out
gifting.
Bobo. I miss Bobo.
Yeah,
know.
How
Yeah,
is
it's-
Bobo?
He's chilling, doing bow stuff.
handling the hip surgery well.
Yeah, he's pleased I'm around often.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Nice.
his life has improved.
Does he like Bojangles?
Oh, man.
I haven't confirmed.
no.
I don't know.
It's Bow time.
Like
Yeah.
Bowberry biscuits. Is
I
he,
bet
like-
you he would gobble up a bowberry biscuit.
he could be the mascot.
Yeah, he could.
Well, Bandit.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyways, I think we need to kind of discuss some dad wins.
Yeah.
It's been a while. We're kicking off the new year. What's some dad wins look like?
Well, I'll say just to continue to piggyback a little surgery story. I mean, like my kids have kind of been crushing it for me,
wow.
which has been
Nice.
super cool.
Nice.
Like my older daughter, she's 11, so she can handle like tasks and like doing things around the house, some simple chores. And I haven't heard like any complaining out of her. My wife, bless her soul, has been like supercharged with extra tasks. And I feel like another child, especially like the first 2 weeks after surgery, man. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I was pretty put up. And
Do you have a
so,
bell?
no, we joked.
Ah.
We joked, but I was like, that's too much
Man.
power to have. I would just abuse it
Really
instantly.
needy.
Yeah. So that's been cool is to see the kids like contribute, and they've been very like cautious. Like the first week I came home to, they were like very loving and like asking how I was doing and just like simple things. Like I'd be chilling on the couch and like just like sitting up was like tough. So I was like, hey, can you just hand me the water, hand me this thing, get me my pills, because I was taking like 20 pills a day, and like give me this, give me that, and yeah, so that was cool. I appreciate those little guys.
Squad, man.
I know the crew came
Showing
through.
up.
Yeah.
Showing up.
Jeez,
Yeah.
were you like near death 20 pills a day?
I know. Listen,
Yeah, I was just gonna look over that, but that's a lot of
let
pills.
me just say that
Pills are good.
All in one go, or like one by one?
yeah, it's like spread throughout the day.
Oh, okay.
The actual like medication is like pretty low. I was taking like 4 or 5 pills a day.
you
The
don't-
rest are
yeah.
just supplements because I'm insane, and I'm like taking, especially the first 2 weeks, I was taking 4 pills in the morning, 4 in the afternoon, just for like joint complex and like healing. And then I've got like collagen pills, and then I've got like multivitamin. I've got like my fish oil. I got way too much stuff, but any little thing I
Brother,
can do to heal
you know what
faster.
we
Should I start taking some more?
Yeah.
Bro, you know what we need? We need like a Ryan's Dad health corner.
Oh,
Like,
Yes.
let's do it.
welcome to the.
Give me your what is it?
Yeah.
Like
Your
your
regimen.
stack?
stack,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, what's your stack?
Oh,
We'll share the
bro.
stack. So
Yeah,
show me
the
your
stack for the
stack.
healing, because I did a lot of research for this, was super dosing on fish oil, like omega-3s, out trying to go for close to like 5 grams a day for a month, which is a lot. And
That's a
I do
lot.
like liquid pouches. So I'm slurping these things that look like ketchup packets.
Oh Lord, you lost me there, brother.
But they taste more like an orange
You're
creamsicle.
slurping fish oil.
Slurping fish oil.
Hey, no, it doesn't taste
orange
like it.
creamsicle doesn't sound
Yeah,
so
yeah,
bad.
no. It's, if
The
anything,
name of it is fish oil.
but they go overboard on trying to cover up the taste
Yeah,
of
they
it.
do.
So it's like hyper sweet.
because it's fish oil.
Yeah. So I've got that sort of stuff that I did before and after, but it's a good anti-inflammatory, and it helps you hold on to muscle mass too. So as I'm like a
You
bum
definitely need that.
on the couch, yeah. As you can tell, I just am withering
Yeah,
away.
lean, mean, fight
No, I know.
machine.
I got like nothing. Whatever I worked for that's on my body, I want to keep it really bad.
Yeah.
So we've got the dad bod on one spectrum, and
Yeah.
then we've
Ryan's
got
bod.
the Ryan dad bod, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
what
Wherever
we
you
strive
fall in
for.
between, you're welcome. You know?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's you'll make it.
Yeah.
So that's a big dad win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having
It's-
everybody contribute.
It's been good. Yeah. So a lot of that sort of stuff. I don't know, a lot of the collagen, anything to kind of help the joints a little bit.
Nice.
I've got more like, oh, the other thing that was really cool was I have this like magnesium powder to help with like sleep, especially like after surgery, like muscles and everything, all the
Trying to wake you up.
nerves. Well, yeah, they're just like a mess, right? And just like that magnesium like calms down your central nervous system, so you can just like chill, rest. So I thought like, that's been good. Helps you stay hydrated too. It's like a powder for liquid and all that sort of stuff. But anyways, we'll save the health corner for
I mean,
a more
I
in-depth
I feel pretty
episode.
good about myself. It's January and I'm like 5 days into Mary Ruth's Men's multivitamin.
There you
So,
go.
like kids got theirs and I got mine. And
Yeah,
it's like
dad's got the
hitting
gummies,
my
kids got the
multivitamin. Yeah,
gummies.
my multivitamin. You know what I mean?
Pause.
So
recording?
is it recording?
No, Michael, what's your dad win?
I say for me, Lev started basketball.
Ooh,
Big
Nice.
deal. First sport.
Yeah.
First team sport. First time competing with anyone else besides me, who may take it easy on him. Definitely don't.
Yeah,
And
it's nice.
he's been practicing. Went to his practice for the first time.
Mhm.
It's like herding cats. I mean, I'm glad I'm not. I'm glad I'm not coaching that age.
That's a tough job.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But they do it with full enthusiasm. Shout out to our coaches and all of the grace that they have. So yeah, Lev started sports, and man, I'm sitting there at practice, and I'm not a basketball player.
You're
I
not.
like to think that I am.
He was hooping last
I was
night.
hooping last night. I missed every shot, but I had the heart of a champion.
No, you were
Kids,
you were dropping dimes.
kids, the glue to the team. That's who I was. Anyways, and I'm sitting there the whole practice, and I'm like, okay, like Lev needs to work on this. Lev needs to work on this. Lev needs to work on this. And I'm telling you, right there in the moment, it was like, you're not the coach. I swear I heard it just out of nowhere. I was like, you're not the coach. And I was like, you're right. And I was like,
we talked about
we
this.
did.
on a
We
previous
literally
episode.
talked about
yeah.
this. I learned this from the podcast. So
Kicking and
shout out to
screaming.
this podcast. I'm not the coach. I'm the dad. That's what I thought to myself. So I literally sat
Yeah.
there and skeeved a plan that when we got in the car, I was going to ask 4 questions.
It's like
The ride
gentle
home.
nudges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ride home.
Four's
That's
a
a
lot.
lot.
That's pushing it.
I know, but they're pretty like softball questions. So we get in the car and I'm like, okay, what was the coolest thing that happened at practice? You know, I'm just a cheerleader. I was like, what was the coolest thing? And he was like, man, like just seeing my teammates and running around and being fast, and it was just so much fun. I was like, what was like the bummest thing? Like, what was like not the coolest thing?
Oh,
And he's like,
no.
says something. And I'm like, what's something that you feel like you personally did really well? And he's like, oh, I did. I was like, what's something you feel like you can work on? He's like, making shots. I was like, yeah, bro. Yeah, we got to make some
I
shots.
hear that.
You know? Yeah. But it was just cool. Like, I just thought in that moment, it was like,
What?
I'm not the coach.
Yeah.
I'm the dad. And I'm going to allow the coaches that I put my son under to be the coach. And I'm going to encourage the things that I see. And what was cool is I've learned this from FCA, but it was like a lot of times coaches in general, or not in general, but I think people in general will focus on the result and be like, good job on that result, but they won't celebrate the process in which it took to get to the result. And so I was saying to him, I was like, dude, you're really good when you don't have the ball. You're really good at getting open. You're really good at, like little stuff like that.
wins championships.
I want you to smack the court when the guy's coming to the court. No. But it was just cool. It was like a really cool moment for me to be like, okay, I could coach and he could just turn me off and be like, I don't want to hear what he has to say. Or I can be a dad and encourage him of the good things that I saw. So
Just
I feel
out of
like that was a
curiosity, what was his answer to the second question?
the second question.
The bum.
The bum thing was honestly, it was the same question of it was the same answer of what he wished he could do better, was just make shots. Like, he was like, I just want to score
missed
more
too many
points.
shots.
Yeah, I missed too many shots. Yeah, but it was so cute to see him. Like, they were playing this like little 2v2 thing, and it's like, I didn't teach him this stuff. Like, it's just this competitive innate nature that he has. He probably got it honestly from his mom, and we all know that that's probably true. But him and his buddy, they get in a huddle, and he's like, okay, dude, you're gonna get the ball. You're going to pass it to me. I'm going to pass it to you. You're going to pass it to me. And then I'm going to shoot a three. And I'm like, there's no threes. No, he's like, I'm going to shoot a three.
Yeah.
It was just cool to see, like that competitiveness and that love sport kind of building up. So I say that for me.
That's
Nice.
rad.
It's a
Yeah.
huge dub.
Yeah.
Yep.
The ride home conversation was huge.
Yeah, I kind of love that. I mean, my kids have been in like sports a bit too, and like, yeah, the ride homes are either, it's like always a good like teaching moment. Like sometimes they're great and sometimes they're not, and you're like, oh man, like you feel for your kid when they take like an L, You're like, dang,
You didn't hit
that was
anything.
a rough game today, right?
Yeah.
And you're just like, I don't know. Sometimes you have to have a quiet ride home or whatever.
Yeah, that happened to me the other day actually. Bray has these workouts that he goes to Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and some of those workouts are in a gym where we like run routes for like receivers for football and stuff, and do football drills. And he just, to be quite honest, he just did terrible that day. Like it was just not locked in. He was not focused. He was doing all the wrong things. And he had stayed up really late the night before, so I knew like,
I'll do it to you.
this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
But anyway, the ride home was, I didn't say a word to him. I mean, one of
I know
those, like,
it's so hard. Like I
what
feel,
do you can't tell him he did good.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's kind of like they don't really, because I think about myself, like I don't always just want to hear like, well, you tried.
Yeah.
It's like, listen,
That's
I
not
know I didn't
encouraging.
do good.
Yeah.
You know I didn't do great. Like, let's just
Yeah.
let me like come down from whatever I'm feeling for a minute.
And this
It's
is
good.
this is kind of a topic I want to get into right now, if that's okay.
Oh, okay.
hit it.
He's been struggling because some of his close friends that he works out with are really good at football, and he's not very good. And I think he senses that, and I think he also senses like how involved in sports that I am and always have been, and it almost feels like he's so afraid to disappoint me, and he's so afraid that he's not going to be he doesn't have my approval, for the way he plays sports. And I've never said that to him or put that pressure on him, but I didn't have to, because he can just sense it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're smart.
And so it's like, I've had that talk with him multiple times of like, you don't need my approval. You don't have to do anything to prove yourself. Like, I want you to have fun. I don't care how good you are, how bad you are. Like, I want you out there having fun and doing the things you love to do. And I still think he just, he still wants to impress me and like, and have that approval.
Yeah.
And so we kind of had a breakthrough moment the other night, after that bad workout. Like I came home and I was wanting to like teach him some stuff about the routes we were running because he was running them wrong. And it wasn't clicking in his mind, and I could tell he was disengaged. He wasn't interested in it. And so we just kind of had that heart to heart of like, is this something that you just, you don't want to mess with? Like, if so, it's okay. Like, you just got to tell me.
Right.
Because
really
I'm
good.
here to help you. But if you don't want to be helped and we're not interested in it, that's fine. I'm going to love you the same, no matter what. And he kind of broke down and like cried a little bit and admitted that he didn't want to play football anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like,
That's
in a
big.
way, it was heartbreaking, but
Yeah.
it was kind of a win because it was a breakthrough moment.
Yeah.
And
he didn't
And
need you to be a coach. He needed you to be a dad.
yeah.
And you were a
Yeah.
dad.
Solid.
And that's how he
Yeah,
that's
responded.
awesome.
Yeah, man. Man, that's so good.
And it's hard to see him like break down like that
Yeah.
because it's like you don't want your
You
kid to feel that
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Sure.
That they have all that, they feel that weight of, you never want that for your kid.
But I feel like a lot of times, like this is happening with my daughter, and like Bray's close to the same age, where they might be feeling all that, like, but they don't really understand those feelings. Like they might not quite be registering like why they're feeling that way. And so it takes like a lot, I think, to try to teach them about that, like emotional awareness and stuff, and like having those talks to be like, is this it? Like, I know with my daughter, I have to like, it's a very strange line to be like, oh, I want to help you. And I'm like trying not to like lead you into this answer, but I have a sense that like you're feeling this way because of this or because of that, whatever it is. And I'm just trying to say like, is it A or is it B? Because a lot of times like my daughter is just like overwhelmed and she's just feeling this emotion. And I'm just like, me and my wife are like, well, why are you feeling that way? And her answer is always like, I don't know.
They literally don't
And it's
know.
like, I don't know. Yeah. It's either she legit just does not
Literally
know,
doesn't, yeah.
which is very valid, or she's just like having a hard time opening up and like doesn't really want to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
And so it's a tricky battle.
It's kind of a funny thing. I mean, it's really cool that happened. I think back to like when I was a young kid, like first, second grade, third grade. My dad was a high school wrestling coach, football coach, and I was wrestling, and I didn't want to wrestle anymore. I wanted to play basketball, and that's in the same season. So what I did is I couldn't face talking to my dad and telling him that I didn't want to wrestle anymore. I went out and wrestled, and I was good at it. But what I did is I took like my headgear and I think like a singlet or whatever, and I wrote like a letter, and I said, I don't want to wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
I love you, whatever.
I'm
I don't know
taking my
what
talents to South Beach.
exactly right. But I don't remember what the letter said, but I wrote a little letter for what I could in third grade or whatever. And I put it in the bottom of his dresser drawer. And I told my mom, I was like, hey, put this here. Because I couldn't face my dad.
Wow.
So I put it in there and my dad had it. He probably was like heartbroken, but at the same time, he's like, doesn't matter. Like, I love you. He came up to me. He's like, you want to play basketball? Go play basketball. That's fine. Go do that. Like, if you want to go do that, go do it. Because like in Pennsylvania, wrestling's huge. It's the mecca of wrestling, and it's kind of like you wrestle. Everybody wrestles when they're little, but I want to play basketball, and I did that, and he supported me throughout it. But I remember in that, and I didn't think of it really until now, but I didn't want to face my dad. I didn't want to like have that conversation with him.
Yeah.
Especially at a young age, you don't know how to say that to
You
him.
thought you were going to disappoint him.
Exactly. I thought I was going to tear down, and then what does that look like? Because he's the head wrestling coach at the high school. What are people going to think? And all this stuff, and you almost get made fun of if you're playing basketball. So it's like I want to play basketball, and it's really cool that you brought that up because it just made me think of that. I didn't even. I haven't thought about that for a really long time,
Yeah.
but
And I just want to
but
clarify.
it's just how you talk to your dad about it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. I just want to clarify. I think the words I used were he's not very good at like football. I didn't mean that. Like
Yeah.
No, we know what you
yeah.
mean. We know what you mean. He's not passionate
He
about it.
compares himself to the guys that he's working out with, and it doesn't come as natural to him. That's all I meant
Yeah,
by that.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Like
no, we didn't
he's
think that.
he's a good athlete, and he,
Yep.
and he can compete out there, but you can tell it just doesn't come
Yeah.
as natural to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
One of the sweetest memories I have of my dad is I was playing coach's pitch and I hated baseball. I still do. No offense. But like,
I hate
if
it
you
too.
can make every game feel like October, I'm in. But if I'm playing 100, if I watch 170 games in a year and they don't feel like October, I'm out.
Yeah.
Anyways, don't even get me into that topic. I'm playing coach's pitch. I'm playing outfield and a ball's hit to me and I run out and it's where the dirt meets the grass. Okay. Stick my glove down. The ball hits the grass, jumps up, hits me right square in the throat.
Dude, I have the same story.
Literally, hits me in the throat. My dad rushes out there. He's the coach. He's the coach of my coach's pitch team. And he goes, "You stopped the run." And I said, "I don't want to play baseball anymore.
Sad.
I hate this."
That is hilarious.
But what the beautiful thing was, I wanted to play soccer. I wanted to play soccer. Where I come from,
Yeah.
where we come from, like soccer is just not a highlighted sport in the community. And that's okay. Like it's fine. It's on the up and up. You know what I mean? But I was like, I want to play soccer. And my dad was like, "Let's rock." We went to Dick's or Hibbett or I don't even know what we did. He bought me shin guards. He bought me cleats. We went to Walmart.
That's a
We
good
bought
dad.
FIFA. He bought FIFA.
yes.
He was like, "I don't know how to play. We're going to stay up all night
up?
and play FIFA and figure out." And he was like, "What's offsides?"
That's cool.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
figured it out that night. And what was beautiful is I went to the first practice and I wore joggers with shin guards on the outside of my pants and cleats. Yeah, just looking like a stud. And the guy was like, "You need to be wearing shorts with long socks." And I was like, "But I look great, right?"
Listen.
Yeah. You don't even know what you're talking about. But I scored a goal that day and I was like, "This is it. This is
yeah.
it."
You were
And
hooked.
my dad was like, he was hooked too. And it's just so cool, like that massaging of just like it took a ball hitting me in the throat to have that conversation. Luckily, your son got to approach you in a conversation where it didn't have to come to that point.
Yeah.
I get hit in the throat and can't breathe, and I'm like, I don't want to play baseball anymore. But it's what we do next, I think, that matters the most. And what my dad did, I literally take to heart all the time. Of like, okay, if my son wakes up and says, "I want to do X, Y, and Z," and that's not what I expected for him, I'm like, "Yo, let's rock. What do I
That's
need
awesome.
to? What do I need to do in order to make that a reality for you?"
Dude.
What's cool is we just signed Bray up for basketball, and he's
Awesome.
on a basketball team now, and he loves it.
Awesome.
I mean, he's
That's
just he's having a
Try it
ball.
all.
Yeah, dude.
Do
And,
it
that,
all.
and at that age, it's like,
Just do it all.
fine, do it everything.
Do everything.
And then see what you like. And what's cool, like, dads are awesome. My dad ended up, like, because wrestling's during basketball season.
Yeah.
And I kept playing basketball. And he ended up resigning from his coaching job
Wow.
because he was missing my games.
Man.
Dang.
And,
Wow.
like, you know, I was like, man,
What's
you
his
don't
name?
have to do
Big
that.
dad move.
My dad?
Yeah.
Tobe?
Toby.
Toby won
Toby, man.
Conbobry?
Toby.
So,
Tobes.
but that's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Like, for him to give up something that he loved in order to come and see me, you know, whether I'm playing the whole game or not, it's like he's making a statement. And that's something I can look back on now. Like, man, you really sacrificed something that you really enjoyed and the relationships that you were making to come and support your son.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's huge.
Speaks
And,
louder than words.
Yeah.
I need to meet Tobes.
and,
Yeah, no, you knew,
and
bro.
it's like,
he's a
man,
stud.
Man, that's a great thing to look back on, you know, and I don't know if he was thinking that at the time, but that's something that I see looking back and it's like, man, what sacrifices can I make now for my kids and whether it's my career, but whatever it is that I can do to make them a priority, right?
You know, I mean, I was just going to say, I was the same way as Bray, and I just became a kicker.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to hang out with the homies, but I don't want to catch.
Yeah.
I suck at defense. I don't want to hit anybody. I can kick, though.
Yeah.
But, hey, just the way it goes.
That's awesome.
He's a good
Yeah.
defender. He he can play. He just he
Stick on you.
lacks self-confidence. That's his thing. And he compares himself to other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Keep
that
a
sucks,
joy.
dude.
Isn't that so
joy, yeah.
disappointing that
Yeah.
like kids that young are
Already doing that.
already just
Oh, yeah.
comparing themselves and like, oh, it's heartbreaking.
Dude, I've got 11-year-old girl
Yep.
Oh,
who's like
dude.
a teenager and she's like trying to get makeup and trying,
Oh yeah.
and you know, like the things that she sees on TV and well, you know, it's more YouTube. I say TV because I'm an
Yeah,
old
that's it.
guy.
Yep.
That's her TV now.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
And even like the things I'll watch on YouTube, like the ads that I get, it's like it's shocking, you know. And we're like, we've straight up asked her, like, well, like, why do you want to go buy that? And she goes, well, she has like a cousin who's like a year older than her. She's like, well, my cousin like has it, so now I want it. And then she watches like beauty tutorials and stuff.
Wow.
And like I have seen stuff because there is always like the positive side to where there's going to be some YouTuber who's like super inclusive and like body positive. It's like, cool, that's awesome. But I mean, I feel like that's probably more in the minority than it is like the majority of content out there.
Yeah.
And it's more like what are they taking away from it? What are they how are they like perceiving that content, even if it's not a direct thing that was said in the video? It's not like these people are saying like, you need to do this, but if she's watching people that are getting all done up all the time, then she's just going to believe that's what she should do. That's what's normal. And it's weird. It's tough. It's tough for a girl, I'd imagine, coming of age. I'm just a dad of a daughter
right.
who's going through it, trying
There's
to
a
wrap
lot of
my
layers
brain.
to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez
I know.
Louise.
A lot of it is just trying I mean, it like happened today. She like came into the kitchen and just like kind of was being very short on all the questions that my wife was asking. And like her tone was just ever so slightly raised in a way where we were like, something's up. Like it's funny how much of a superpower, moms and dads get for just like,
Spidey sense.
dude, what's going on,
Yeah, bro.
right?
Spidey senses.
Like when I
tingling.
tell like my kid, like, hey, let's go put our tablets away for a minute. And then like, I can just sense, I'm like, my daughter's in her room, like texting her friends or like on YouTube right now. And she thinks she's so cool. Like I can like feel her body moving as I'm like approaching the door. Right. And I'll get in there and it's just like uncover the blanket a little bit on her bed and like the tablet sitting underneath the comforter. And I was like, you don't need to do this. Like, I know you're on here. Like, just be straight with me.
Do you have the dad walk where
Come
you
on,
walk
kid.
with the heel first and it kind of makes a noise?
Oh, dude.
Dad
like,
walk.
yeah, bro. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
there is a volume and a weight to when the dad steps through the house.
Yep.
There's something to
I'm
that.
like a ninja. I don't know. My
Oh, you're
wife is the
sneaky
one
with
who's
it.
like,
It's because you weigh 130 pounds.
And you're on
help
crutches.
it.
Maybe it's like,
hey, this has been a real struggle with the crutches, is that I've lost my like Spidey little ninja-ness around the house where I used to be able to like catch a kid.
comes dad.
I used to, yeah. They have like a 30-second heads up now when dads come in and they can do whatever.
They
like,
can hear you trying to get off the couch.
Your steps
dude,
your steps usually don't carry much weight, but now they do.
Now they do, man. Those kids, they know when I'm coming. They know when I'm coming to check up on them.
Yeah.
If I start stomping through the hallway, I don't even have to say anything.
Yeah, bro.
They
It's on.
they get under their covers, lay their head down.
It's on.
Yeah.
If I hear somebody
I can
screaming at
see. I
somebody.
can see little Bobby curling
Yeah.
up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. All right.
Yo, Bobby was pumped in the national championship.
gosh.
Oh my
He
gosh.
Bobby was locked in.
He's a Tennessee fan and he's just amped.
Oh yeah.
yeah. He was locked in on that.
He's
just like,
champ
Who we
for
cheering
Ohio
for?
State.
Notre
Yeah.
Dame.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Yeah. Dude, he's so
locked in.
obsessed with
He's a
football.
coach. He's gonna be a
That's
coach, man.
great.
He really is, and
He's
then
a
he
big
like go
coach.
over there and like act like he's like,
Oh,
coaching
he's
the
into it.
players, and like
Mhm.
And for the audience, how old is Bobby?
he is 4.
Yeah.
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 So that's
He
awesome.
acts
Little
like
dude.
a coach on
Oh.
Saturday afternoon.
You would think he
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
a grown man
You get him a
watching
headset.
this video.
See what he does. Like a coaching headset. He like
Oh,
pulls
yeah.
it up. He's like, "Hey, can I get a juice box?"
Yeah. You got any goldfish? I need a hit.
I'm gonna need to get it right.
X22, right?
For you Spotify listeners, we will flash up the video of Bobby coaching the team during the national
Yeah, yeah,
championship
that's
game.
beautiful.
It was great.
Beautiful. Okay, we all talked about wins. I think
Yeah.
Noah, your kid's
Yeah.
a little younger
Yeah.
than the table's average age.
No, yeah. So we'll shuffle around.
Yeah.
Brooks is coming up on a year now. It's kind
Wow.
of hard to believe, but
Whoa.
the win for me is kind of a life hack for some of you newer dads, maybe. So Brooks has discovered the robot vacuum and
Nice.
Roomba.
the Roomba, at whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it is, but it's a robot vacuum that goes through the house.
Yeah, we know what it is.
And he goes,
Yeah. Thanks. Those have been
thanks,
around
guys.
for a
This
while.
is for people who maybe there's
Don't
older
have a-
dads.
yeah.
Maybe there's older dads.
Totally.
Just keep
But-
your mouth shut.
He goes to the corner. He knows exactly where it is. He goes over to it, hits the button, starts it. And he's just crawling. He's not even walking yet. Knows how to turn it on. And he'll just latch onto the back of that thing.
It's like, let's go, baby.
And that thing will drag him around the house. and he
Cue
just
the video.
moves his feet.
Cue the video right now.
Oh, okay. We'll put it on there.
Yeah,
Put it on
yeah,
there.
you have to.
And he just lets it take him throughout, and he crawls behind it and just latches onto the back. And then he'll hit the button, and then he'll want to sit on it, and then he hits it again, and he's figured out the button, so he just keeps hitting it, and then I have to take him away from it. He's got all these toys. He's got a ball pit. He's got all these toys, and he just doesn't use it.
Yep.
Goes right to the vacuum. I had to put it in another
Yes.
room the other day. But the win and the life hack is I can get something done when he goes to the vacuum.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's just like, I'll hit that button.
Time it out, bro.
We'll time it up, and man, I know that if that thing's on, he's by it.
Yeah.
So like, if I hear the vacuum, I'm like, okay, here he is.
I got
And I can
15
put the
minutes.
dishes away.
And
I
you got
can do
gates
something.
and stuff, so you can't
Oh,
like, go down
Yeah,
any kind of stairs.
no, we're
or-
good.
Yeah.
So
One level.
So that's kind of been the win for me, and I've discovered that, and it's been a
That's
blessing.
it.
Yeah.
My
It's
little
been a
Roomba
blessing,
too. When it
fellas.
gets in distress, it lets you know. It's like
Distressed.
error number. So like if he does anything, you got that instant notification. Like
yeah.
oh, he needs to get hooked
Bro,
up
it was
on
so
the Roomba.
funny. I was literally FaceTiming Noah the other day, and he's like, bro, look at this cat. He's just like being drugged behind it. And then it literally was like, basically the Roomba was like, yo, I'm dying. Like, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I have died of battery.
I'm like, I've
and
gotta
and he's
charge
just
it.
like, and he was like, brother, it's dead. And he
Yeah.
just like couldn't comprehend it.
He's trying to pick it up now.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's strong. He's
Yeah.
trying to pick it up. He gets his hand stuck under it. And
Yeah.
he's just not even phased by it.
Doesn't
It's
even
hilarious.
care.
I got another dad win.
Oh, come on.
Bring it.
I just thought of this one.
Is it
Um,
sweating?
huh?
Is it the snow?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So,
great. Okay,
Thank
good.
God.
It snowed quite a bit over the
Okay, good.
holidays,
Sorry.
the time that we've been
I didn't
apart.
remember.
Yep.
And one of those days that it snowed, I was inside and the kids were playing out back in the snow and sleigh riding and stuff, and they're like, Dad, come out and sleigh ride with us. And I was like, I don't really feel like it. But then I was like, this means a lot to them.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
like this
It's
is
go
like
time.
core memories that they're
Yep.
gonna remember,
Yep.
because I remember doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
So I get up and get my stuff on, go out there, and we had an awesome time racing each other. Like, it was me and Bobby, but I had Bobby in my sled, Beckham and Baylor in one, and then Bray in the other, and we were all like racing each other. And there was one instance where I like completely ran into Baylor's back, and it probably hurt really bad. He's like, you can hear it in the
It's a
video.
lot of
He's
mass.
like, oh,
Coming at him.
I'm like, sorry,
A lot of mass.
yeah.
And he couldn't see it coming with the camo.
no, just didn't even know.
It's a good point.
There was another instance where Baylor and Bobby went together. So Bobby's sitting in the front this time, and Baylor's in the back. And I'm videoing it, and the other two go down first, and they like kind of tip over, and then all of a sudden you just see Baylor and Bobby go flying by, and they're not stopping.
No.
And you're like,
Clark Griswold.
what's about to happen?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a chain link fence up ahead, and they're just headed right for it. I'm like, they're not stopping.
It's amazing.
Put some Crisco on the bottom of that.
At the last second, I don't know if it's Baylor or Bobby, raises their arm, and all you see is somehow magically they end up on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Like, you just
They
hear,
broke the
you hear
matrix.
the chain link fence, and then you see them on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They went through the fence.
They went
Yeah.
through the fence, but the fence didn't break
Yeah. Cue the
or
video.
scratched them. That's was my thing. Because
They
those
did-
things at
they
the
did
bottom
not-
of those things
yes.
are like,
Yeah,
They
it's
did not
not-
have a scratch
yeah,
on
yeah.
them, but you see Baylor's head just fly back.
yeah.
And like
Ragdoll.
whiplash. Yeah, it was hilarious. Cue the video.
Cue the video. You're going to be editing the video, so you're telling yourself to cue
That's a
the
lot of
Nick.
Nick.
Video.
editing Nick.
Yeah.
Editing Nick. Editing Dad. Cue the video.
Now I have a dad fail. You want to hear this one?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Bring it.
Sure.
Although that last one was kind of a dad fail.
No, it's a win.
It's okay.
It's
That's a
great
huge dub.
experience.
It was funny.
And you got it on video. That's a huge
Yeah.
sub.
That's an experience. Yeah.
So, I don't know where we went, but we all left the house, the whole family. And Kayla had started the washer before we left. And we get back, and I'm the first one in the house. And I walk in, and our laundry room is down in the basement where we come in from the garage. And I walk in, and I just see like a pool of
Oh, no.
blue liquid.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what is going on right now? And so I walk in there and I'm like thinking, is the washer leaking or something? But then I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. There's not that much detergent in in the washer.
Wait, can I guess?
Yeah,
Can I guess what happened?
Yeah.
Can we have a quiz?
sure.
Okay. Based on the story so far,
Yeah.
what do you think happens?
I really don't know.
Oh, you really don't know?
Uh,
Okay.
the-
What
the
about you?
washer's
Anything?
I mean, see, I want to say that it's like a kid accident, but he's
Okay.
saying that it's a dad fail. So it's
Okay.
like, how did Nick mess up? Because
Okay.
I immediately go to like, oh, it's like blue Gatorade.
It wasn't me that messed up.
Okay.
Okay. I think I know what
it's
happened
blue
because this has
Gatorade
happened to me
all over
before.
the place.
This is not
Did somebody leave the soap on the edge of the dryer or the washing machine and it started rocking
You're close.
and it fell and the soap went everywhere?
Close.
Ooh,
So
That's happened to me.
what happened was
been there.
I come in and I see pool of detergent, blue detergent all over the floor.
Floor's clean.
A whole like
Silky
large
smooth.
container of detergent worth of blue liquid on
Solid
the floor.
$30.
I was just going to say, that's like,
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
You
Ayla
scooped
was
it in.
distraught. She was
You
like,
scooped it in, right?
This is well, she tried it. It was not working.
Oh no.
This
I
was
used cardstock paper.
we
brother.
were in full like just
okay.
work mode.
Yeah, okay,
Anyway,
sorry. Finish your story.
I come in and I see the detergent container laying on the floor, like laid over, and the lid's popped off. I'm like, how did this happen? I'm like, did the dog get out of his crate and lock himself back in? Like, no.
Your dog's
That's
as big
not
as
an
one of
option.
these mics, so I don't think that happened.
Yeah. And so then Kayla comes in. She's like, oh my gosh. Well, she had left it up on there's like a shelf above the washer.
Yeah.
And somehow the washer gets to rocking sometimes. And it like, I guess, worked its way off
Oh,
of that
yeah.
ledge.
Yep.
Pretty close.
Boom. Lid comes flying
Soap
off.
everywhere.
All of it dumps in it was underneath the washer
Yep.
and dryer.
You have to clean it.
I had to
Gosh.
lift it up and hold it there
Mhm.
while Kayla
Dad's strong.
dude, it was awful.
Yep.
I mean, there's no good way to clean up detergent out
No.
of the floor.
No.
We had to get a whole roll of paper towels and just keep doing this, like
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
scooping it up. Like
It's awful.
you can't vacuum it.
Mm-mm.
You can't just mop it up. You have to like collect it.
Yep.
And
That's why we put it back in the bottle and used it again.
yeah. So
That's smart.
I mean, it's soap. It's gonna clean itself.
that was
It's self-cleaning.
It's soap. Oh man, I've been there. That is
That's good.
that is the worst. That is
at least our floors are clean now.
they are.
they've
It
been
probably
cleaned with
smells pretty
detergent.
nice in there too.
Yeah.
It probably
You know,
smells super
I was
nice.
thinking you're gonna have to replace a washer machine. That's
Yeah.
nice.
When
I
I,
thought
walked in, I
some.
was like,
Oh no.
these are brand new.
Mm,
Yeah.
Hmm. How dare they?
Gosh.
Mm.
Well,
Mm.
trying to think if I don't think I have a dad fail. I think I'm just succeeding.
Oh,
Always.
yeah.
All the time.
You've just blocked those memories.
Just all around.
I'll say, on like the opposite side, like that first week of surgery, kids were great. After that, because I've been trying to be like as useful as possible and like trying to just not show that this sucks right now. Like dad's struggling, trying to put on the good face, like trying to be a good dad. At nighttime, I hobble down the hallway and try to say goodnight to the kids still, and all that. So I feel like the perception from my kids' point of view, which is what I was going for. And this is the dad struggle, right? You try to show that you are tough and you can do the things and be there for your kids, right? And so now they see, okay, dad's fine. I can go back to kind of my old ways and do whatever I want. But then internally, I'm like pushing myself more than usual. And now is the time when I really just wish my kids would like give me an extra hug or say, hey dad, like, do you need anything? Can I like just like a little favor would make me feel so seen right now. But I did this to myself,
Trying to be cool.
So that's like,
Trying to be
that's a
tough.
This
struggle right
happens
now.
every time I get sick.
Yeah.
I feel like I deserve sympathy from my wife, and she is not having it. She's like,
It's the man
I'm
flu.
birth family.
It's the man flu.
you're not like you
man
don't
flu.
feel that bad.
I get that.
How do you feel about that bad? Like I just had it and I didn't feel that bad. Like your
It's
body,
different for
your
everybody.
body's not hurting that bad, Nick.
Can't
The
be.
man
It's
flu.
physically impossible.
Yeah.
Have you seen the memes where it's like women's pregnancy, men's cold? It's like
Yes.
Oh,
It's the
boy.
truth though.
we treat
When I
it.
get
We treat it
Oh,
pretty much
yeah.
the same.
Yeah. if I
is
get a
it just
cold-
me though? Like
No.
No, I do the same
It's
thing.
me.
I'm
But
lights
for
out.
real,
I'm knocked
it
out.
hurts.
Yeah.
When I get the flu, like my body,
Yeah, I'm
I
knocked
can't
out.
move.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
My hair hurts.
sinuses. If I get a cold, it's the end of the world.
Oh yeah.
But my
gosh.
leg could be falling off, and I'm like, I'm gonna tough it out.
Yeah.
Colds, no
But,
shot.
Yeah.
No shot.
Down and out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are some areas you guys want to grow
Oh,
as
good
dads?
question.
I think that's another question we can kind of discuss.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good discussion with my wife pre-surgery. It actually was like added to the stress. Like I had to drive down to Nashville. So on the positive side, we had a nice long car ride to talk things out. On the downside, it's like I'm about to go get surgery in like 2 days,
Yeah.
and like we want to have this discussion, which was like a lot of like pent up things for her that she decided to then like lay everything out on me. And I was like, wow, this is a lot for me to handle right now
Yeah.
when I'm about to go like be unconscious and have surgery done. But I'm glad she did. We've also agreed it would be really great just to let me know as it happens. And, you know, basically let's like put some bumpers up, right? Kind of keep me in line with where I want to be, you know, and the person I want to be. And if I'm not acting like that, just let me know instead of, you know, taking the punches and taking whatever it is, and then storing it deep inside until you want to explode, which is what happened. So I get it. That happens with a lot of people. But our discussion basically came around to like my goal is just trying to balance the facets of life better, you know, family time, the time that I spend with myself, and then like work. Like, how do we make that be a balanced stool? And she just was voicing like it's a lot right now because honestly, this year, I guess you could say 2024, I like kind of made a conscious decision to like I want to be more involved in a few more things. Like I set some intentions, and so on like those intentions though like led me away from family more. And it was like I want to do more freelance work in my field. I want to go like work with other people, other crews. Like I just want to get a little bit more involved with that community and like say yes to more cool creative projects, which I did. And it was awesome. Like I feel like I fulfilled that, but it's a difficult thing because I work a 9 to 5, so to speak. And then I was taking extra time to go do more things. So that was like being away from the family. And I just didn't fully understand the impact I was having at home. And then decided to start a podcast with some dudes,
Yeah.
you know?
Whoops.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
Sorry.
So it's been cool though. We've been smart, you know? It's like, well, my kids are sleeping now. So we kind of got,
Late night dads.
yeah, anyways, dad's at dark.
It's after
It's,
dark.
it's working okay.
Don't
It's
look that
doing
up on the
good.
internet.
No, but the point is, my goal, Michael, is just to make sure and like communicate, check in a little bit more with the wife. I'm trying to put this back together, guys.
My bad. Sorry. My bad.
Take a drink of water.
We're all thinking it.
Roll it back. Go
All
ahead.
right. So anyways, you know, my intention for this year, my goal is just to communicate better with the wife and make sure that the family does stay first and foremost, and just to check in more. And I'm just somebody who loves to have like some guardrails because I'm a little crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
My personality is like I thrive at going towards adventures and new experiences.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm a squirrel looking for a nut. So
That's
That's good.
that's good, man.
Yeah.
Hey, way to win at home. Hey.
gotta try to keep them up top.
I can share. So it's been a crazy year for my family. You know, we lived in a different city than here for almost 8 years, and then decided to up and leave that place and move here. And
Across the country.
yeah,
Yeah, don't sugar.
Nobody knows where here is.
Yeah.
It's an undisclosed location.
okay, I moved 3,000 miles, so try to figure out what that is. But anyways, we lived in this place, and when I left there, I knew it was the right time, but that didn't mean that I was like ready emotionally to kind of leave that place. Loved that city, loved the people, Portland, Oregon, loved the people I was with. We were with an amazing church plant, like loved the people we did community with. But I just felt like me and my family, it was time to be closer to home, to be closer to kind of our family, physical family. And throughout the past couple months, I was starting to get a little, let's be honest with you guys, like bitter and resentful of like, wow, I moved for this. Like, and it was almost like this, like for this, like I moved for this, like I moved to, you know, like I said the last podcast, like we had a miscarriage, like as
Thanks,
soon as
Michael.
yeah, you're welcome. We had like we moved here, and the housing situation that we were going to move into didn't really work out the way that we were expecting, which is okay. Then Alyssa unfortunately had a miscarriage. And then we move in with my in-laws, and which has all been good, but it was almost just like, did I make the right decision?
And that's not what you signed up for.
Not really. Like if I was to see it from a bird's eye view, would say maybe I'll do a different direction. And I kept saying this phrase in my head, like, man, I moved for this, like with a big question mark on the end of it. A couple weeks ago, I was on a flight to Kansas City for some work stuff, and just was thinking about that, and I really felt in that moment. I don't know how. I think I know why. I'm a Christian, and I really felt like the Lord in that moment said, yes, you moved for this. And he changed the question mark to a period. And he said, your family's been through what they've been through. You've been through what you've been through for this. Are you going to be the leader that I've called you to be for your family, for your community, for your friends, for your wife, for your kids? Yeah. Or are you going to be like, for this? Or are you going to be like, no, for this, like for this? And so that's just been such a good grounding for me and my family of just being like, when things get hard, we're not in the situation that we thought we would be in. Good. You know, for this, like, I'm excited. Like, we're excited. My kids are happy. My kids actually love living with their grandparents. They think it's like vacation. Like, this is the coolest part of their lives, probably. And they'll remember this forever.
It's like good because it's way better than you could have imagined.
I couldn't make that up.
Be, and it might not be right in this moment, but it's going to be.
Yeah. And I couldn't formulate that and make that the right situation to line up. And, you know, it's like my kids, you know, are farming with their granddad. That's and they're helping their grandma grade Spanish papers, and they're, you know, like we didn't have that for 8 years, you know, almost in Portland. And it was like, for now, like I really felt like on that plane ride, it just shifted for me of like where I'm trying to grow is like, I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to be thankful, and I'm going to be passionate about where I'm at right now, where my feet are at. 'Cause I wouldn't be able to be on a podcast with some guys. I wouldn't be able to be really close to people that have loved me from in really like dark days. It's just like, yeah, for this, bro, for this. Yeah. Period. And I think that was just an encouragement. I wanted to share that for dads that may be like in a struggling season. They'd be like, man, like, is there a light at the end of this tunnel? Yeah. It's like, yeah, bro. And you can lead your family there.
I think it's so funny how every time I get on a flight, I get this new perspective. It's
a science
weird.
thing. There's something
weird.
To it.
Every time I get on a flight and I go out of town by myself, I have such a fresh perspective on things.
Unbelievable. 30,000 foot
crazy.
View. Literally.
I come back every single time with a new. It's weird.
Every time I watch a movie, I'm in the middle row and I cry my eyes out. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It could be about golf. It could be about action. It doesn't matter what the movie is. I don't know what it is.
I don't know if it's an age thing, dude, but I've been crying way more on movies, dude.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Let it
Can we
fly,
talk
bro.
about a Netflix series you need to
How
see?
do you cry?
I mean, it's not for me
got a
like
book you should read.
it's not a deep weep. It's just that my eyes suddenly
let it roll.
burst.
And just let it roll.
Yeah, they just start watering, and I'm just like,
What is this? What is this
Yeah,
liquid coming out of
I
my
know
eyes?
it's uncontrollable. Is
My
what
phone's
it is.
off. I need to look up this book. I'll talk to you after the podcast. I may put it in the description.
Can I just say
Cry
that?
Like a Man. I think that's what the book's called. Go ahead.
Yeah, we need to watch. You all need to go watch Man on the Inside. Is a hysterical comedy. It's like a 1-season thing on Netflix. Okay. But somehow they kept making me cry. Those bad, like they did it so good, and I welcomed it. I was
watch an episode of Bluey.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
it was so beautiful.
Also, I saw Mufasa recently.
Ooh,
I didn't cry,
that's cool.
but it was
That's cool.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like almost there.
So what you're talking about, kind of the perspective, and you brought it up. That's kind of where I'm growing. Is I'm hoping to grow in my own time. I feel like I'm working all the time. My wife works a lot. And then when we're not working, we're with Brooks, or Taylor and I are together. So it's like whatever we try to do, we all try to do together. So I'm like, man, where's my time? And it's selfish, but it's like I feel like we've been being unselfish to where we want to try to weed out and hey, where can I have my time by myself? What activities can I be doing or hobbies, but also just like time for new perspective, right? Of like, okay, whether it's early in the morning before work or it's on a weekend or late at night when, everybody's asleep, I can read, I can do something that helps me reset
Yeah.
because I need,
Fill the cup up.
yeah, I need to I'm pouring myself out into other people, right? But it's like, I need to get refueled. And, you got to have a healthy system for that, I think, to be a good dad, to be a good husband, whatever that looks like. But for me, it's like I'm really trying to grow and create that. We talked about buffer last episode, but buffer my schedule, but buffer within the day,
Yeah.
whether it's however many minutes it is. But I need my own time to just unwind.
Yeah.
Whether it is
Because it shouldn't require a flight out of town
shouldn't
to
Have
get
that
you,
experience.
Yes,
It shouldn't.
Like
Yeah.
you should have that once a week or
Absolutely.
once a month at
once
least.
a day. I mean,
Yeah.
get in a corner of your home in a chair, get in the car and drive somewhere.
Yeah.
But put on some music, sit in silence,
Whatever it may be. Yeah.
whatever it is for you.
Get on a bike.
Yeah.
Get on the bike.
I think the big
Yeah.
science of it and like maybe why the airplane is experiencing the sense of awe. There's like a lot of listen to an awesome podcast all about just like having a sense of awe is like something that us as humans are like drawn to.
Yeah.
And it is like it changes you. And I think that is part of what like cycling and the outdoors is for me is that I get like micro doses of just awe. Like to be out there, me and Nick, sunrise, like beautiful farmland. And you're just like, you're outside of yourself and the rest of the crazy chaos of our world is not there with us on the bikes. And you're just like, this is just beautiful. And you just feel gratitude, that sense of awe. And that's the little reset. And if you can do that in the morning, dude, like you're ready for the day. It's awesome.
And I think that's something I struggle with during the winter months, and it probably contributes to my seasonal depression. Is that
Amen, brother.
you can't get out
Outside.
and ride your bike like you can in the summer, and it's like,
Peloton, brother.
yeah, but it's not like what
yeah.
he's describing.
I know.
you
It's
know?
not.
Like,
Like, that little screen can't give me a ride down. Yeah, I got to feel it,
all
man.
the reasons that you just heard him describe is why I love cycling so much. It's not just the the dopamine hit you get from the workout itself. It's all the smells you smell and the feelings of the air going on your arm hair. Like just,
Yeah.
you're going 50 miles an hour down a
I
hill.
know.
Like
You feel
Create
alive.
moments of awe.
it's just awesome.
I'm a fan of that.
I know. I love it. And I
Like
think
you when you're riding, you feel the changes of temperature in the air as you're riding.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, the
stuff you
smells.
can't get in a car.
On
or,
the smells, the sounds. Yeah.
dude, riding past a bunch of honeysuckle, so sweet.
in the morning.
Yes. Awesome.
Golfing in a quarter
Sometimes
zip.
you get sometimes you get a skunk or two here and there, like a nice
Especially
cow
Hilton's, bro.
patty.
Come on.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good. Create moments of awe.
Yeah.
There was something too I learned, I don't know where, but it was called like white spaces, and it was more from a business, like corporate world standpoint, but people would create white space in their calendar or through their day to where it was like, okay, I'm coming out of a meeting. I need this space in order to prepare for the next meeting. But they were creating like 5 to 10 minute pockets in their calendar to where it was like that sense of like resetting, renewing, pouring in so that I can go into this next meeting. Because a lot of times in my calendar, like a lot of times at my work, it's just like meeting. And then by the end of it, I'm like,
Yeah, right.
4 hours after, I'm just like, ugh. And it's like, I just need to be a little bit better and diligent of like, okay, I need to create space so that I can, pour out, pour in. That's really
Because like
good.
you said, we're constantly either in a meeting or we're focused on this, or you got to call your wife to make arrangements for who's taking the kids to practice, and then you got to take the kids to practice, and then you got to figure out what they're eating for dinner, and then your day is so packed full of thoughts and focused energy on getting through that day and surviving, that you don't have any of that, like you're calling it white space time or whatever, to just like reflect and think about the future, like the future.
No, I know.
Like I'm trying to survive this
Trying to make it to dinner, my guy.
like
yeah.
I'm trying to keep my kids alive. and keep my family fed. Like, it's crazy how bogged down we get
Absolutely.
every single day
Yeah.
with the thoughts and the work
I
of it
know.
all.
Yeah.
And it'll, dude, time slips away. Your kids grow. Like,
Yep.
I can't believe. I mean, I absolutely, one of my favorite things to do is just to look at like videos of my daughter from when she was like 4 years old. And like, she gets so embarrassed and we'll like act it out too, me and my wife. And she is crawling on her skin and me and my wife laugh hysterically about it. But it's crazy how fast time just flies by. And me and my wife have talked like, yeah, we're tired of our mornings being such a rush.
Yep.
Where like I'm doing something, you know, she's trying to get herself ready for work. Both of the kids are trying to get different things ready so they can get to the bus on time. And my like daughter is making her own lunches and stuff. And there's just nothing but chaos. And we're like, whoa, like it's just wild that it's too busy. And it was like, we're all just flying by the seat of our pants every single morning. And we're just like, that's not the lives that we want to be living. You know, we want to find a way to just like slow down and not be in a rush every morning.
Yep.
Like, even if it's just for the kids, like just so we can be like, hey, I got this for you. And like, it'll be fine. If you miss, sometimes the bus goes flying past our house. Like, all right, I got you. I'll drive you to school. And the chaos of the day, it catches you.
Yeah. So that was one of my points of like how your question was how do we want to improve as a dad, or what are some ways? And like for me, that's it. It's like I'm not doing a good enough job of carving out some sort of like planned out time every single day to like sit down with my kids and like just talk to them, or like or even the same goes for my wife. Like we don't have any sort of like planned out routine that we do every single day or night for that. And so it's like we're just kind of like floating through right now. And it's like
I'm in that.
I need to be more intentional.
We got to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's tough.
Because you're either like,
It's like I'm taking what I get. Like I just got to take what I get at
Yeah.
this point, and I'm not like being proactive.
yeah. And we are either leading our family towards health or unhealth. I really believe that. I don't think there's in my personal opinion, I don't think there's a like coast. Like I just don't believe that. Like it's either healthy or it's unhealthy. Like there's just, to me, it feels like there's a stark line. And so it's like, I need to be really
You're either
diligent.
fading or you're growing.
Yeah. It's like, I really need to be
And
diligent
it might
about
be a slow fade,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you're fading.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you're
still
going
fading in and of
the
itself.
opposite
Yeah,
way.
and so, yeah, that's a whole nother episode.
That's a different episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of the heart of the podcast, what we wanted to get to was what does a successful father look like? What does a successful dad look like to you? I know it looks different for everybody. People measure success differently, but in your eyes, in your own opinion, maybe something you strive to be, or something maybe your dad ingrained in you. But when you look at a dad and the ideal dad, what does it look like to be successful?
Dude, I think this is such a good question, and me and you were kind of talking about this over some McAdoo's. So
Oh,
Nice.
all of the great knowledge comes from there. No, I'm just kidding. Whatever.
It's a subpar restaurant.
Yes.
yeah, they take
It took
forever.
so
They
long.
take
Used to be top
forever.
notch is the
Bro,
thing.
it took so
used to
long
be
to make a
good.
wrap. It was a grilled chicken wrap. Like it wasn't like crab cakes.
We
Like,
sat
That
over an
place
hour.
tanked.
Yeah.
That place.
Yeah.
tanked.
over an hour.
Anyways, long live those days. But what's so beautiful about this is I think every dad kind of answered this question differently based on the story and the experience in which they've come from, which is kind of cool because like I don't think there's a cookie cutter like success, because
You've
it's like
You've done it.
yeah, bang.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say because I think it highlights what has happened in your stories and what you've experienced as dads,
Yep.
as being a son, as and then too, I can't wait for our audience to kind of sit with themselves, whether they're a dad or they're a family, and they're thinking through this because they will base that success off of kind of where they come from. So anyways, with that being said, I think for me, one of the things that I feel like makes me successful as a dad is reminding my kids that their performance doesn't affect their position. Let me explain that. So before my son could talk, before my son, he's starting to read, which is crazy. That's just like blowing my mind because I remember him blah, 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 goo, goo, gaga.
Yeah.
Like before my son could use the bathroom, before my son could, like all of these things, like he was my son. Like he's mine.
Yeah.
And I loved him when I held him first. Like, nothing will strip away his identity as a son. Yes, he's going to go do really awesome things, hopefully. I mean, I don't know, whatever is awesome to him. He's probably going to fail and trip up in a lot of ways. But I want him to know all the time that regardless of his performance, whatever it is, that it will never change his position. And his position is he's my son. Noah is my daughter. Regardless of what she does, the highs, the lows, everything in between, she's my daughter. And I think a successful dad for me is reminding the kids that that's a reality for them, that they can have the freedom to live their life and do all of the amazing things that I never got to do, or maybe follow my footsteps in some ways, like whatever. But like, go after it. And I'm going to be like, let's go, let's go. And when they fall, come to me. Like, let's do it. Like, let's figure it out. And then also too, I think one of the things is, I want to celebrate effort and not earning. So Dallas Willard, he's a Christian author. He says grace is opposed to earning, but grace isn't opposed to effort. And what that means is basically what I was talking about. This, like, not, my kids don't have to work for my love. They don't have to come home with straight A's and be like, Daddy, look, am I loved now? It's like, no, like, you're loved before the report card came home. And so I think that's for me just like something I'm trying to implement and just remind myself, because I see myself that way as a son, and I want to like give that to my kids so that they go out and love other people the same way, as friends and parents.
Yeah, that's strong.
And
it's like you want them to then like take that and be like, hey man, like you don't have to like do this to be my friend. Like just be you. Be you.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Create better humans.
Yeah.
There's the goal, dude.
Yeah, and me and him were talking. It was like success for me is like, to me, and then y'all can think of it, but it's like success for me is how my kids love other people. Like, really. Yep. Like when somebody comes up to me and they're like, dude, Lev is like, he listens, and Noah's like so kind. I'm like, dope. That's success.
I know.
Like they love people, and that's
those
awesome.
are the report cards I care about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just like, man, my kids can be like troublesome for me, or like we can butt heads, but like when you get to hear other people talk about your kids and that they're just like out in the world, like acting well and appropriately, kindly, with love.
Yeah, dude.
I can't tell you how many times, and I'm not saying this is like a brag or anything, but like
humble dad
brag. Come on.
I can't tell you how many times we've been out at a restaurant and it's all six of us there, in the booth or at the table or whatever. And some couple will come up to us after they're done eating. They're like, I have never seen more well-behaved
How did
kids.
you do that?
4 boys in one booth.
I think that's what it is. They just see 4 boys and they're like, how is this happening?
Right.
But no, I kid. But like them, just their behavior out in public shows a lot about how you're raising them and how they treat other people. And so I think, that's a win for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think of another success thing, like for me, and this kind of comes back, like my dad was out here helping me after surgery, and this has been like a virtue of his, Bruce, that I've just
My name's Bruce. Sorry.
Stop that.
Stop that. Had to go there.
Go ahead.
Was that like a Finding Nemo?
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Oh, I got the
Fish your
reference.
friends, not food. Good on you, mate. Please continue. Bruce is the GOAT.
The Australian
OG.
vibe and trend in here.
Oh man,
Strong.
It's a theme. It's a narrative theme.
I know. We keep going. Okay, that was a big cliffhanger because I never did say the virtue is just like patience. It's just having patience.
Yeah.
And like I thought a lot about that as my dad was out here, because I'm somebody who likes to go out and like do things. I like experiences and like the adventures. And so when I have somebody visiting me, I almost feel entitled to this responsibility of like, I want to show you my town, the things that I do, like the sights and stuff. Like I want to be that kind of host who's like, hey, isn't this place like super cool? And he's been here plenty of times. But at the same time, I'm like, wow, like I'm down and out, and my father is just sitting here in my home, and like I can't drive. I literally have nowhere to go besides physical therapy, and he just sat in the house. He just sat there for like 10 days, and he's an active guy too. Like normally he's out playing pickleball like 5 days a week at least, And when he visits here, he joins groups and he does that same thing, but he just sat there and he was like just present.
Wow.
Dude, and like just being present and having
Yep.
like the patience to literally just sit in the living room. And there'd be times, man, where I was like, I don't want the TV on. I didn't just sit there for 8 hours a day watching TV and YouTube and movies. Like,
Yeah.
I was kind of enjoying just the silence I had. And my dad can be a pretty quiet guy unless like I'm engaging him in conversation, but we just shared like a lot of time together, just in silence, just being there for each other. And, you know, like sharing a meal together, like lunch, and him like being gracious, buying lunch, and just like, but I could tell like he was just like down just to be there. And that was
That's
rad.
dope.
Isn't it
Yeah.
so like it's so simple though. Like we try to make it so complicated.
Absolutely.
And you know, we can list off all these things that would make like the perfect dad.
Mm-hmm.
But like when it comes down to it, for me at least, it's the word love. And that's, you know, do my kids know that I love them?
Yeah.
Mm.
Do my kids respect me in a healthy way? Do they love others? Like it all comes back to the word love, and like the same love that our Father God shows us is the same love that we need to show our kids, and then hopefully our kids will show other people.
Yeah.
And so that's the one word that it all comes, like it's simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's love.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everything revolves around that.
Yeah, it's an unconditional
Yeah.
love,
Yeah.
right? That you're giving. I was listening to an interview, and it was a billionaire, and he was talking about like there was this question, right? What does it look like in a way to be successful? And I don't know what the question was, but it was along the lines of being a successful father or just being a success in your life. And he's like, being successful isn't about my money really, but it's like, do my kids want to be around me when they're older?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, do they want to come home for the holidays? Do they want to spend time with me?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, for a billionaire to say that, right? Because none of your answers here have been about money or materialistic things, or and it shouldn't be. But I think the world that we're living in, sometimes it shifts that way, or you know.
And don't we live our
focus on
lives that
that.
way? We
Yeah.
think, oh, I got to make
Yeah.
more money for my kids.
Yeah,
or like, I
yeah,
got to
yeah. I've
set
gotta
them
provide.
up for
Yeah,
success.
and
or
it's like if you're providing, right? Like, I think we have that. We have that role,
Yeah,
right?
for
to
sure.
provide. There's needs that need to be met, right? And that's a responsibility and a duty. But it's like, man, what does my life look like when I'm 30 years down the road?
Yeah.
You know, from now, and then what are my kids doing then? So it's like I'm looking back at the fruit of it,
Yeah.
and that's the
Yeah.
proof of, man, did I do a good job? And there's different situations and scenarios where you could do everything possible you could to set your kids up and teach them to be good people, character, values, and they just go off on a different path, and that's their choice, right? But I think the root of it all, right, and the meat and potatoes of it is, are we looking at it through that lens of, hey, I'm giving everything that I can. Am I setting my kids up for opportunities to be successful?
Yeah.
And I think if you can look back on your life, and then even in the short term, throughout the year, years down the road, you can look back and go, well, okay, we are progressing here. And you can see them doing those things out in public, right? Behaving in a restaurant,
Yeah.
you know, things that we've touched on. I think those are wins, right? That's us being successful dads as we walk through this life. And I think, like Nick just said, we make it so much more complicated than what it really is.
Yeah.
And I had all these things running through my head of, oh, successful dad's this and that. And it's like, do my kids know that I love them? Are they loving other people? And I think that's the root of it, right? That's the core
Yeah.
of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I
Right.
think too, it's like, if I was to run into any of our kids in 10 years and put a microphone in front of their face and say, what did it feel like to be fathered by this dad? What would they say? You know, and I think that's a good like indicator of like, how would I, you know, how would they answer that now?
Yeah.
And so I think it's that question really like it, not from a pressure standpoint, but from the dad that feels like, nah, like let her figure it out. you know, like whatever. Like I'm just here, you know, kind of coasting through. It's like they're being parented by something.
Right.
Do you want them to be
Yeah.
parented by the culture? Do you want to be parented by YouTube? Do you want to be parented by TikTok? I guess it's gone or whatever. Maybe I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Do you want it to be parented like? No, I want to be parented by me. What does it feel like to be parented by me? And I need to rise up to the occasion. Me and my family, my wife, or if you're a single dad or whatever they may be, like I'm gonna rise up to the occasion and be like, no, I want them to answer that question. I was loved deeply. I was pushed, but I was cared for. Like, I think that'd be worth its weight in gold. Like it'd be,
Yeah.
It's like if you have the love part, everything else is icing on the cake, man.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's trying to figure out, you know, how do they, what does love mean to your kid?
Yeah.
Trying to understand, you know,
that's a whole nother episode.
like, 'cause it's so different, you know, like
Yeah.
my kids are two different people in the way that they receive that. Like my son, like is more in line with me where I think you put that kid outside, even if he's like, no, I don't want to go do that. Once he's outside in the environment, he's like, this is my world.
Yeah.
Like he's the guy who'll just be outside in a leaf pile in the wintertime and just like playing with a dog. And then he's like digging a hole and then he's doing like whatever. Like he just makes stuff up and he doesn't do that quite as much inside, but outside he's like, cool. And then my daughter's the opposite. Like she just wants to sit down in silence, almost like I did with my dad and like just read and like just be beside you. Like that's a thing for her. She'll like call us to the couch and be like, will you just sit with me? And same thing, like dinner time, chaos. Like I'm trying to make dinner for my kids, trying to make dinner for me and my wife. And sometimes like, you know, I'm like, orders up. And I like, you know, toss dinner out. And my daughter's like, well, will somebody like come sit with me? And we're like, we're in the kitchen. We're like 10 feet away. And she's like, I just want somebody to like sit down at the table. And I'm just like, and I was like, all right, yeah, of course.
I'm coming,
of
baby
course.
girl.
Like
I'm on my way.
she eats fast. It's like 5-10 minutes. It's nothing, you know, just go do
Yeah.
it. And
So good.
just to take that to sit.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. There's so much of I think there's just so much ways to look at our success, the ups and downs. But I think I looked I'm kind of shifting this, but our success is magnified when our kids are at their lowest points too. I look back at my dad and it's like, man, any dad can be there when things are good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Any parent can be there when things are going good, but what did your dad do, or what are you doing as a dad when your kid is at the lowest of lows or they're failing? And I think that magnifies our success. And that can really define you, because there's plenty of times where I remember my dad like being there for me when I was at a bad spot. And it's like, okay, he's never leaving me, you know,
Right.
and he's going to be there. That's the proof. That's the fruit. Right. And it's the proof of not just talking the talk, but it's walking the walk and living that life of being a successful dad.
And sometimes it's like when you're in a low spot and you need tough love. You know, there's different types of love. There's let me give you a hug and tell you how much I love you, and then there's the tough love that you need.
Yeah.
You know,
I had
and
that
so it's
recently with my daughter.
knowing when those opportunities come up to show that tough love and
Yeah.
and doing it.
I want my kids to come to me now when they grow up and they're on their own. They're on their own. They're married. They're with their own family. They're creating their own family. But like, I'm 30 years old and I call my dad. I'm like, hey man, like, what do you think about this?
Oh
You know,
I ask my dad for advice all the time.
I want my kids to do that with me so bad, you know, one day.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I can have that relationship with my kids, whether they're down the road, you know, or in the same town, or they're living across the country, can they call my number and, you know, I'm there, or, you know, they can hear my voice and we can talk through something,
Yeah.
because the relationship doesn't just stop when they leave.
Yeah.
Right.
What's cool is where me and my dad work together. A lot of times I can just call him up and be like, "Hey man, I need you to put your dad hat on for a minute," because like we're all the time working. You know, it's always like work. And so sometimes I just need like dad advice. You know, I'm like, "What do you think about this?" And so it's cool that I can just like call him up and Just say, hey man, I need you to put your dad hat on for a minute and just tell me your opinion.
Solid.
Yeah.
Do any of you
That's
guys ever
awesome.
do like this has just been like I've done this a few times recently where I'm just like projecting the future a little bit in my head, like just like kind of playing like a game, making these visions of like, I wonder like what the future will be like when my kid is like 20 or 30 something. And it comes back to like what you were saying, like I can't wait for that time period where when my kids are older and I get to like fly and see them and like be a part of their life as they're grown up and stuff. And like I'm already just like plant that seed a little bit in my mind, I guess. I don't know if anybody else does that, where I'm just like, I think it's going to be cool. Like I guess I'm trying to look forward to those times in life.
Yeah.
It still seems so distant right now, but I think it's like these little like moments that I'm just like looking forward to that like almost in a way keep me grounded and like happy for right now to be like, again, like what we've talked about, like those reminders of, okay, well, if I want to have that relationship in the future, then I need to be like building that foundation with them right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
Those
Absolutely.
times
Yeah.
are going to be
Yeah,
special because
absolutely.
of what you're doing
Right.
right now.
Right.
Right now.
Yeah.
It's,
Yes.
It's not a hopefully one day we can. It's like today we will, because and then one day we will reap the
Yes.
benefit of that.
Right.
And I've gotten to like kind of experience that because again, like I've said it on here before, me and my dad have an amazing relationship now, and I'm so thankful for it. But there was a really rough patch, you know, to where it was like I was going to like friends and, you know, other people with like life advice and stuff like that. And but one thing that I really have seen just in my wife's family, you know, now that we live with them, you know, same house, multi-generational.
There you
There's
go.
a lot of people, a lot of dogs, a lot of cattle. Like it's just, it could be a sitcom. It's pretty amazing.
Sounds great.
But like I think like at first when we called them, man, dude, like we had to call them and be like, hey, can we move in? Like that was like, that was hard. That was hard for me. That was hard for my wife. But like to hear their voice and then be like, you don't even have to quit. Like you shouldn't have even asked. You should have showed up
Why aren't you already here?
with the U-Haul. And like, so it's like, that's the kind of stuff that looks, it's like, we could have,
So
you know,
cool.
this vision. It's like, but those are the days, kind of like what you were talking about, where it's like, I'm getting to experience like a little bit of a redemptive kind of cycle of like, man, this is life. Like, this is cool. Like being with a big family and like, all the ups and the downs and the bumping into each other in the kitchen. And, you know, it's just like, but that's the joy of it right now. And it's just so sweet to see as like a grandparent, like to see them like enjoy this time that they didn't have. Cause again, we were in Portland. And so, it's cool, man. Because of the investment that they made in Alyssa at that age, Alyssa could pick up with confidence and be like, I need help in this situation. And they were like, you should be here already.
Let's go.
Yeah. And it's cool too. Like me and Randy will sit out, you know, by the truck and look at the cattle and count them. There's only 7, but we'll count them. And
Got them all.
we'll hit golf balls and
then you'll count those.
We'll count the golf balls and he kind of gives me this look like, you don't have to leave. Like you really don't. Like this is good. And it's just like, man, like that's what it's all about, you know?
That's awesome.
And that's a good
Just
dad.
picture you like bumping into Randy at like
Kitchen.
in the kitchen at like 2 in the morning. What are you
In your
doing up right
boxers,
now?
no shirt.
Yeah. He's just
Grabbing
getting a
milk and
snack.
cookies.
Yeah. Getting a snack. That's good, man.
You know,
That's good
my
stuff.
parents had 2 kids and now they have 7 grandkids. And so I have 4 kids. So like how many grandkids am I going to have?
Yeah. Oh, brother.
Bring on that family
If
tree,
they're
brother.
as like productive as I am. like-
Hey man, have fun at Christmas.
Yeah, brother.
You love Christmas, don't you?
Yeah. You're a big Christmas guy,
You're a
right?
big Christmas guy. Good for you.
You
Man.
will with all those little grandkitties to crawl on.
I'm glad that episode never aired.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, some
We
of
could-
it did.
forgotten files.
a little bit
Yeah.
did. You saying you hated Christmas showed.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead. No.
Okay.
No, man. I mean, I just think I think
beautiful.
it was a good conversation. I don't know if anybody wants us to wrap anything up, but
I think it's just challenging the
Yeah.
dads. Just like be introspective, like make us. And I think too, we kind of touched on in the beginning with the wins and the losses, but it's like create space to look at what is winning
Mhm.
and how do we get there? And are we winning now? If not, hey babe, or hey, you know, friend, hey, help me, like
Yeah.
get to this
I
place.
think sometimes too, it's like working backwards.
Mhm.
And I'll leave this to you. Like one thing I always done is that we had a goal. right? Whenever you have a goal, it's like, okay, well, how do we achieve that goal? And then you work backwards. Okay, these are what we need to do. I know that was one thing my dad always worked with me is like, okay, you want to play college football? These are the things you're gonna have to do to go play college football. This is not gonna happen overnight. For some people it does, but for you, buddy, it's not gonna happen.
Listen, bud,
put in some work.
you have to work a little
You
bit.
want to gain weight? Here's what we got to do. You want to reach this number? Here you go. But I think too, it's just like, what does it look like for my life? What does a successful father look like in my life? And then here's the steps, or here are some of the characteristics that I need to develop in, and I need to challenge myself. And having that dad community, like encourage each other. The guys maybe who live close to you, if there's some high school friends or college buddies that you went to school with, whatever it is, reach back out to them. Connect with us on social media, whatever it is.
We'd love to help anyway.
Walk alongside you. But I think you can't do it alone, and you got to have a plan. And
if you have a partner, ask your partner where you suck.
Exactly.
Seriously,
we'll tell you.
the greatest mirror.
They'll pull out their list.
Well, excuse me. Yeah, and I think too, like a lot of people see the end goal because it's like yes, but they'll see the end goal and they'll be like, "There's no way I can get there." Like it's huge.
Yeah,
and I go back to my best. Literally, I think it's one of the best quotes in movie history. But The Patriot. I think I've said it on the podcast before. Mel Gibson, he says, aim small, miss small. What is the one step as a dad I can take tomorrow that will help me take a step towards that thing? Not like focusing on that, but focusing on the practical steps I can take. I need to do story time. Bring story time. Make story time cool again. Yeah. Let's talk about our days. Be thankful at dinner. Whatever maybe, like little small increment things, not this massive change in personality or I need to address, it's like small things. Build up over time.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that input. It's the way to do it for sure. You got to take some baby steps. So
let's do it. Let's do it, dads.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's get out there.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
2, 4, 6, 8.
We're not doing that. Okay.
I'm not touching your hand.
We appreciate you joining us. Share it, like it, and we appreciate
share it
you
with
guys
a dad.
tuning in.
Share with another
Share
dad.
it with another dad. That's
that
a
may
good
need
challenge.
it. Yeah.
Good luck.
And say, hey, let's do this together.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you tuning in. And,
love you guys.
Until next time.
Get out
Much
there.
love for the dads.
For the dad.
Do it.